What is going on, Lakers Fast Break family, Lakers Corner family, and everybody that is here with us today, man? Appreciate everybody being here. We just witnessed the Lakers get honestly robbed of a game by the Oklahoma City refs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Lakers lose 136-120. Talk about a game that just the momentum decided the game. The refs decided the game. You love to see when players get to duel out and go at it, and then you figure out who's the superior player, who's the elite player on that night. But you hate to see when the refs have such a control over the game like this, and honestly rob us fans of a great show and rob the Lakers of a win. But man, I already see the chat blowing up here. Everybody's talking about refs being some thieves, refs sucking ass, and you guys are damn right. I welcome everybody here with us, man. I see Doobie's in the chat. What's going on, Doobie, Gustavo, Darren? We already got 25 people in here, man. So appreciate you guys being here. And we also got the one and only. I remembered Magic Man, the man with the with the tism. The man with the tism. That's right, baby. The man with the tism, the one and only Magic Man, Sean Grice. Brother, talk to us about how you're feeling after this highway robbery we just saw from the Oklahoma City refs.
Yeah, bro. I just wanted to make sure you can hear me and the audience can hear me as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that game just got jacked by JTR. JTR jacked that game for every basketball hooper who's watching that game, regardless of whether or not you root for OKC or the Lakers. And a lot of people are going to call me homers for this, and I don't give a straight fuck. But JTR jacked that game. He did. Luca hit a big shot. He want to talk some shit to a fan, and that happens hundreds of times a game, John. With guys, John, back and forth to like. And here's the thing, Johnny. I've never had the pleasure or the privilege of sitting front row at an NBA game. That being said, if you're going to pay that much money and you want to participate in throwing back barbs, then be prepared to get it back. Now, I thought that was part of the game, brother.
Me
But
too.
apparently, JTR thinks that he could jack a game because he didn't like the language that was used in his general direction, even though it wasn't directed at him.
Man, and to everybody here in the chat saying, Luca needs to stop complaining. We know that, guys, and this is something that we have said, before Luca even played a single game on the Lakers. I came out and said, oh man, we got the two most chronic complainers on our team now, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. There is gonna be, some times where it's like, damn. Luca, like shut the fuck up and get back. LeBron, shut the fuck up and get back. But to have a ridiculous call like this, guys, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that someone can say that can justify that ejection for Luca. There's nothing at all, guys. So as much as you want to say Luca is a baby, Luca needs to stop complaining, sure, that's fine, but nothing justifies this call. So no, Jamal, we are absolutely gonna blame the rest for this one. You will not be able to walk us off this ledge, bro. Granted, because we give Luca the shit on when he needs to be shitted on, but right now, bro, that right there, the game was literally, we were up. As a matter of fact, it was 7 minutes and 40 seconds. We were up 107, 108,
Yo,
and then they went. Go
and
ahead,
John,
Sean. Talk to me.
yeah, bro, we ain't calling out the refs. We're calling out one ref, and we're calling out one sequence of events. But you see
Mhm.
what happens. You see what happens, guys. You see what happens there. What that Jamal just said. Don't blame the refs. He didn't want to listen to what me and John were talking about, and he only heard what he wanted to hear. We're not
Mhm.
blaming the refs. By the way, John, I thought up until that point they had called a pretty fair game because the Lakers had gotten the line almost twice as much as OKC did. and we still lost by 15 points. So to suggest somehow that we're saying that we're blaming the refs, no, we're not blaming the refs. We're blaming one ref, singular, and it was a sequence of events that he had no business throwing out a player who was jawing with another fan. And by the way, as an NBA official, John, you know this. You've been around the game a long time. Officials are in control of what goes on the court and off the court. So they need to be paying attention if Luka and a fan are going back and forth, because that's part of the game. If you want the fans to be that interactive, then it's fair play. Luka could say what he wants within reason as well.
Man, yeah, that was honestly absolutely ridiculous, guys. Like this is one of the times when the refs just come and, well, not even the refs, a ref come and just steals the show, guys. Because legit, like this was a good game. We were lining ourselves up for a good like 8 minutes of basketball, guys. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left. Lakers are out by 1 point when. I mean, Lakers had a good first quarter, had a terrible second quarter, had an amazing third quarter to get right back into the game, lining ourselves up for a great fourth quarter, and then this is what happens, guys. So you cannot tell me that the JT Orr did not just screw the Lakers out of this game and just screw us out of a good matchup. And just in queue, our man Joe Soro has joined the show. Joe, what's up, brother? I know you were there at playback with us, seeing this bullshit. But talk to us about how you feel about it.
I'm trying to get a coherent thought right now because I'm trying to understand these refs. Couldn't it have been easy to just realize that you made a mistake at that moment and just rescind it and go, I'm sorry, I thought he was talking to me. Never mind. Because if you're that stupid that you have an all-timer that's happening right now, that the score was tied and it was at the 7:40 mark. You were about to get the last half quarter of basketball that you really were engaged in every way. It was evenly competitive for 3.5 quarters. And then your stupid ass decides to interject your stupid fucking rules or your stupid brain in this. And you kick out the guy on this team with LeBron and all but essentially turn the game into a dud. So what happens when I had already seen a call for offensive foul by LeBron on a clear flop, by the way? That was the softest bitches like flop I'd seen in a while, by the way. He looked like he kind of like glided down. It wasn't even trying to. Usually when you're trying to draw a foul, an offensive foul, you kind of put your body into it. He just fell. And it wasn't the one that would be, again, where I was sitting, the one that's sitting maybe due east or north or behind that one. It's the asshole that didn't have the view. He calls that offensive foul. That dumb motherfucker called it. Was it Tony Brothers? I don't know.
It wouldn't be. It would be the third official, Joe. I'll look at who they are, okay?
It is nauseating. It is exhausting. I understand that the game is fast. I understand that the game is you're going to miss calls. But I fucking told you, motherfuckers. How many times?
The umpire was C.J. Washington.
If you don't see the damn foul, why are you calling the foul? Why? I understand if you didn't see the foul. You have an argument. You have an argument that you didn't see the foul. Fine. I get it. Why are you calling the foul when I could clearly see where you were standing and you did call the foul and you didn't see it? You couldn't have seen it where you were standing. And the other two should have called it then. They had the line. They could have seen LeBron on their right side, Dort on the left side, and seeing them collide from what angle they were from. Why didn't one of them call it? And then you fast forward it to what? You fast forward to Luka directly looking at that fan, which is part of the game, talking smack to the fans. That's part of the game. You don't kick that fan out. You don't kick Luka Doncic out in a game like that. You don't do that. You got to open your eyes and pay attention to what's going on. You're not paying attention to foul calls, and you're not paying attention to the freaking temperature in the room. You ruined an amazing game, a game that could have tilted something mentally on Oklahoma City had the Lakers won this. They go into Oklahoma twice and beat them. Oklahoma's in trouble at that point mentally. They have to think about that until maybe they meet them in the Western Conference Finals. But we're not going to get that now. We're not going to get that now. We got this ref that's sitting on the ass end of the court wondering, oh, he yelled at me. I'm going to call a freaking tech now. You want to kick out? You want to do that stuff? You want to do that stuff to Luka? You want to do that stuff because he's always bitching and whining at you? Fine. I get it. I'll just say I'll be on your side there for a minute. But not in this game. Not in this game.
Man, guys, this is absolutely ridiculous. Right now, we have 103 people in here. Everybody, thank you for being here. Please make sure to go show love to Lakers Fast Break. Subscribe. Please go show love to Lakers Corner, my Lakers page. But we are just still trying to take in this absolute robbery that we just saw. Again, like not even just the robbery of the win, but as I mentioned when we opened up the show, as Joe just mentioned, robbery of good basketball. We were going to get to see good basketball. And Joe, I love the point you brought up about that mental note, right? Because there's no way that, if the Lakers come in Oklahoma City, beat them twice, there's no way that once come playoff rolls around, I know basketball is a different game. I know the game's played differently. It's ref differently and all of this. There's no way that that's not in the back of the Lakers' mind and in the back of Oklahoma City Thunder's mind. But now, when we go into Oklahoma City Thunder, let's say it happens, comes playoff. Now, there's no way that this is not in the back of our mind. We remember, last time we played them, it was that fucking bullshit. It was we were up. We were playing some great basketball and then got that bullshit called on us. Momentum swung their way. They go on 22-7 run, and then I'm taking this game.
Sean, let me put a button on this, and I'll let you go. It's going to be quick. I would show this on here, but I don't want the copyright assholes to jack it up, right? There's a great footage that just came out, I think, a few months ago. It's manager Joe Torre, former New York manager, St. Louis Cardinal manager, but at this time, back in, I think it was in the 80s, he was managing the Atlanta Braves. There was a call that happened. I still don't know what the hell the call was, but Joe Torre's always been known as Cool Joe, right? Not this day. He goes out to the umpire. His name was Bob. That's all I know. And he goes, "That's bullshit, Bob. That's bullshit. That's bullshit." He did the whole, Lou Piniella and Tommy Lasorda move. And I'd never seen Joe Torre act like that before. And I mean, he pulled out Brooklyn. He pulled out all of New York in that run. He even dropped the cocksucker in there. And I was like,
whoa.
Kick him out. He didn't kick out Joe Torre. That guy did not kick out Joe Torre. He respected what was going on in that game. Joe's like, "That's bullshit, Bob. That's bullshit. That's bullshit." And he would not stop. And you know what Bob did? He had big pairs of balls. You know what he didn't do? He didn't kick out Joe Torre after all that ranting. And this piece of shit kicks out Luka. By the way, Lloyd, this has nothing to do with Luka. This has to do with the game. It's about the game. Okay? It's the game. I already gave you a way out on what I said before. If you wanted to do that when they were playing the Hornets on a freaking Tuesday night in Charlotte, fine. But not tonight. Not tonight. And it wasn't even towards him. If he had said something to him, I would have slightly understood. Slightly. I wouldn't be ranting. But he wasn't talking to him. He wasn't talking to him. No one is right here. No one is right over there. Not the NBA, not the ref. And anyone who was for it. You're all wrong. You fucked up a classic that could mean something in about 3, 4, 6 weeks.
And Joe, not even not even fucking up a classic. And even if Luka was talking to the ref, like exactly what you said, man. These refs have to have tougher skin. They have to be able to hear more. Like and the following play, when we were in playback, it was when Vando had got that block and then stared down. I forgot, maybe stared down like J Dub or something like that, and then he got a technical on that. And my issue, and this is like one point that I wanted to touch on, is everybody talks about, oh, players today are soft, players today are soft. And yeah, sure, right? Like we can see that some players today are soft, but I think that it's really a byproduct of how the game is called, how the game is officiated, the rules in the game that kind of leads players to having this soft mentality over time. You become soft when it's allowed over time. And I think that this type of bullshit, like, you mean to tell me you can't block somebody and then stare them down without getting a technical? This is exactly what is wrong with today's NBA, in my opinion, with you. Like, yeah, sure, you may have some players may not be as strong as they once were, but I think what's really the problem here is the way the game is called, the way the game is officiated. It's just ruining the game through and through, man, because we're robbed of a good game. We're robbed of a good matchup. We're robbed of good basketball because somebody was just talking to somebody in a way that they didn't like. Like, I'll be honest, guys, and I know I'm a bit different, but there's nothing that no other human being can say to me on this earth that will make me be like, oh my God, my feelings are shriveled up. Like, words, it's just fucking words, man. It's just fucking words. So honestly, man, I'm still not over this, to be honest with you. But Magic Man, you were gonna go ahead and jump in here. What were you gonna talk about here?
I can almost guarantee you, John, that if the Lakers and OKC Thunder do play in the Western Conference Finals, there's no way in hell JTR is officiating any of their games.
Yeah, he better not.
He showed he showed a bias. He showed a bias, and as you know, Johnny, referees are supposed to remain unbiased. He didn't recognize, and he wasn't paying attention to the fact that Luka was talking to a fan. And as we talked about, referees are responsible for what goes on the court and off the court. This was a problem. This was an evident problem. And I don't mean to steer off the conversation, but I mean, the mouse at the palace. The referees had an opportunity during those sequence of events to try and calm things down, Johnny, and they didn't. They didn't. They allowed the chaos on the court to bleed off the court, and this is what happens. Now, I'm not trying to call a spade here, but what I am saying is that there's a certain level of control that they have that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the problem. This is the problem. There needs to be one of two things happening in a situation like that. One is, I would actually have somebody I would call an advocate for the NBA PA, and somebody from the NBA official office, and they both stand around the court and occupy what's being said back and forth, because obviously three guys and women who try and ref an NBA game can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. And we need clearly we need a system to ref the refs, because
there needs to be a system.
Enough
Enough of this grading shit.
Yeah, this one
and
got
enough of this last 2-minute report shit. That's
This
just
is
up. That's just to cover your flaws.
absolutely, and you know what? Like I've always been an advocate of like, why the fuck do would you even give me this 2 minute report? Like you can't go back in time, so like,
Right.
so what
Right.
is this?
So yeah, exactly. So tomorrow afternoon, and I guarantee this is gonna happen. I guarantee it. I'm saying this right now with Joe and John. Around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, Luca's technical foul will be rescinded.
Absolutely.
He'll keep his money, which he should, because he shouldn't have to give it up for stupid jackassery like that. And everyone's gonna go, yeah, okay. Change it. This is what happens when you change one variable. And it wasn't a small variable even, Johnny. This is huge. You're taking out a planet in a universe in this game. That's huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely ridiculous, man. Lakers lose to Oklahoma City Thunder, man, 120-136. If you're just joining us here, man, appreciate you guys being here with us. And now we have 107 people here. So appreciate everybody being out here, man. Appreciate you guys' time. Please do let us know in the chat your guys' thoughts on this game. Joe, Sean, and myself, we were just rambling off here on the refs because I feel like that's the first thing you have to talk about on a bullshit loss like this. But if we can look past that, if we can look elsewhere, I'd like to talk about our 18 turnovers that we had tonight because I do believe that you never want to put the game in the refs' hand like this by having those 18 turnovers, right? Because I mean, if we're able to have a better game, especially in that second quarter when we got absolutely popped, maybe we're not in a position to get fucked over like this by the refs, right? But hey, can't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. But let's talk about the 18 turnovers. Let's talk about LeBron having 6 of those 18 turnovers. We were talking about in playback, the simple brain farts at the end of quarters where inbounding the ball, bringing the ball up court, not getting the ball in Luka Doncic's hands to initiate the offense. I've seen a lot of those silly turnovers. So Joe, I'm gonna go here to you. I don't know if you want to talk about the turnovers or if you want to touch on another aspect of the game, but that to me is a glaring deficiency of our game tonight, besides the Oklahoma City refs.
Yeah, I would say some of the turnovers were not necessarily unforced. I think there were certain angles and just things that might not have had good control of the ball a little bit here and there. That happens during a 48-minute game. Oklahoma City, according to just normal stats, normal analytical stats, they're the best defense in the league. So they're going to cause some uncomfortable possessions. 18 is still too much. I would have preferred like 10, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the 7:40 mark. The game was tied. I felt like there was a little bit of momentum more on the Lakers at that point than it was Oklahoma City because Luka had just hit a shot, and it was starting to be Luka Doncic time. And Oklahoma City knows what Luka Doncic time is. They saw that in the second round last year. And NBA basketball, and especially the Lakers, got robbed of that tonight. They got robbed because you had a referee who was a fucking moron. He's a fucking moron, and he ruined really good production value today.
Yeah, could somebody please put up that quote that I have from the OKC fan, please? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I just put in the chat, Magic Man.
Yeah.
So you read that out, Sean?
Yeah, so the fan said during the game, within the game, I mentioned that he was short and he missed it, and he turned around and he shot an expletive back at JTR, happened to see it and point at him and teed him up. So JTR had nothing to do with it. He knew he had nothing to do with it, and he still did it anyway. What does that say?
we're not angry. I'm not angry right now because a ref
co-
made a mistake.
I'm more confused now than
I'm
anything.
not confused at all. These guys, I wanted to bring up the example of Bob, the umpire in the 80s. Okay. Some guy, even though I know it's Joe Torre, people know who Joe Torre is, a lot of respect for him, blah, blah, blah. Joe was still in that guy's face, dropping C bombs, A bombs, B bombs, and every bomb you can think of. And Bob stood there because Bob was a man. And he understood what was going on. He understood. He understood the word. Why is Joe going nuts? Joe never goes nuts. He doesn't go nuts. He understood what was going on. This idiot did not understand, apparently, what was going on at that moment. He didn't know that he wasn't talking to him. He didn't know that the game was a classic. 29 to 12 after that. Trash. The game turned into trash the last 740. 29 to 12. Thank you, Jeremy. What the fuck your name is? Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. I hope you never ref a game again.
Yeah, absolutely. His name is JT Orr, and I hope he never ref.
Jeremy, I don't give a shit what his name is. He would have been better if he...
Yes. Absolutely, Joe. Go ahead and let all the anger out. But you know what doesn't make me angry? Seeing the Podfather, seeing the one and only Gerald Glassford, man. Gerald, everybody was asking about you. Gerald, it's like every time you ask me, to host for you, I try to do my best job of being like you,
awesome,
man.
my friend.
But everybody always asks for you. So, Gerald, the one and only Gerald Glassford is here. Gerald, you saw that bullshit of a game. Talk to us about how you feel about it.
Well, it's very simple. But first of all, you're going to be doing it tomorrow as well because I'm going to be running late as well. But for today, and hopefully Luka will take it out tomorrow on the Dallas Mavericks. Again, over under 90 points in the game. I have Luka over in the Thank You Nico Bowl. But today it just comes down to this. The Lakers got their legs cut out from under them by the refs. And the refs are not supposed to decide the game, but they did today. But I will go back to something Joe said on Sunday. And I know we go back and forth on playback and all that, but you got to give credit when Joe says something that's really solid. And that was when he said that if the Lakers were competitive on a game where OKC is going to be ready, because OKC was ready for this game, guys. They got smacked around and were not prepared at all on Sunday. They were going to be today. We took their best shot and we were leading in the fourth quarter with Luka Doncic. And so, all the Luka haters and whatever, okay, he lost his composure. He lost it at a fan. The fan is a piece of trash. And essentially, instead of the refs going after the fan and kicking out the fan, they kick out the guy that we needed in there the most. I will say this. Joe said it best. If we were competitive in that Tuesday game, tonight's game, he was going to take that a lot away from that. He was going to take a lot away from that as far as how the Lakers can do during a playoff series against them. And I think it's in OKC's head that they got bailed out tonight by the refs. And in a series against them, they are the team that they probably do not want to meet in the playoffs. I think it's definitively clear that the matchups, as you always say, John, it's all about matchups. I think the OKC Thunder don't match up very well with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think they will try to do what they can to avoid them at all costs.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You guys heard it here first. 101 people in here, man, with us. Appreciate you guys being here, giving us your time after this terrible Lakers robbery. If you're just joining us now, Lakers did lose 136-120. Magic Man. I talked to Joe about the turnovers. We talked about the refs, but if they asked Magic Man and like, where must we go better next time? Like where do we go wrong this game? And if you want to point to the turnovers, feel free to point to it. But talk to me about some of the mistakes you saw this game, because I feel like part of getting better as a team is recognizing where you went wrong, working on that, and then coming back next game much better. But what were some of the mistakes you've seen this game, Magic Man?
Yeah, you know what, John? There was, to their credit, OKC got 56 points in the paint. They really made a concerted effort to try and get going at the rim. Unlike last game where we kept them out on the perimeter for, I mean, what it felt like at least 20 out of the 24 minutes in the first half. They were just living on the outside perimeter, man, from the 18 feet out. This game was a little different. They used a lot of, uh, I would call it just mishmash of screen and picks, whatever you want to use. I mean, they just tried to get a dump truck in front of LeBron and mow him over because, as Gerald pointed out throughout the game, they're picking on LeBron. They're picking on LeBron. They pulled the Lakers on the Lakers because Luka attacked Hartenstein in that game on Sunday consecutively, 7 times in that first quarter. And as Gerald pointed out, OKC just decided to do the same thing to LeBron. Make him work defensively because if you make him work defensively, he's going to get fatigued at the end of the game. He's 40 years old. And I think that was a concerted effort by them to do that. And LeBron made some mental errors that he normally doesn't make, John, unless he's either fatigued or has a brain fart, like in Chicago. Now, I would say out of the six he had, I would call four of them fatigue turnovers and 2 brain farts. Um, Jared Vanderbilt, you had 3 turnovers. All of them were brain farts. You should not have the ball in your hand unless you're going up for a dunk. Outside of that, John, Reeves, LeBron, Doncic, and Vanderbilt combined for 16 of the Lakers' 18 turnovers. So if 4 guys are committing an average of 4 turnovers, you're not going to win the NBA, man, and especially not against the number 1 seed in the West. I'll also say I think fatigue got the best of us at the end of the game as well. We finished 28 of 37 from the line, which is, usually we're either sub or above 80%. We're usually not 75% la di da in the second half of this season. So that I think that was a cue as well. But who knows how much of this resulted from the Luka ejection? Because as I was telling our buddy Trent from the Miami Heat Network, um, because Luka is gone, now you only have 2 guys who can create for themselves and create for others, and that takes a lot of work, John.
Absolutely.
You have to create a lot of osmosis. At Gerald, it's difficult to do that when you're in somebody else's barn and you have 3 guys with the ball, but now you only have 2.
Absolutely. And Sean, I'm seeing here a lot of comments in our chat talking about OKC being frauds, and I'll pull up our boy Doobie's chat here. He said we were robbed. OKC can't fuck with us at full strength. We got the split. Now let's win next 2 games. I'm ready for postseason. Doobie, appreciate you for the chat. And that kind of draws the question that I want to ask you, Sean, because both me and you, we've been pretty high on OKC all season long, to be honest. We've both been saying from the beginning of the season, like, yo, like I don't want to see them in the playoffs, only because, like I said, they just have so many different perimeter defenders to send at Luka. And the way to stop generational players, and I mean, you don't stop them, but the way to slow them down is just sending multiple looks at them different times down court. And like they can do that with J Dub and Alex Caruso and Dort and Shea. And I mean, Jay will, I mean, the list goes on of players they have to send at Luka Doncic. Now, these last 2 games, I mean, has it changed your mindset at all? I mean, I find it hard for the first game to change anybody's mindset because, I mean, we just shot the lights out, guys. I mean, the first half, we were like 15 or 20 from the 3-point line. I don't see that happening again, like on a consistent basis. This game, we were right there until we got robbed by the refs at the end in that huge momentum swing. But Sean, like, does this change your mind at all? Like, are you... Some people really want to see Oklahoma City Thunder. It looks like they think they're frauds. Are you in that same line of thinking, or talk to me about where you are with that?
That's a great question, John. I will say this. I think it's a different kind of style of fight. I think there is more. To me, there's more parallels between the Lakers squad that played the OKC Thunder in 09 and 010 when they were young Bucks coming up versus say 11 and 12 where they were running them out of the gym. I mean, they tried to run us out of the gym tonight a few times, John, but we kept punching back.
Yeah.
They got it to about 8 or 10. Couldn't really get it above that, and then the Lakers come back and eventually tie it up and take the lead on them. I would say it's this right now between those two. I'd say it feels like I told Gerald. Me and Gerald had this discussion. I think they have different strengths. I just think they have different strengths, and they both played their strengths well, and they're both coached very well. I would you give John? Would you give a slight edge to Dagnall over JJ Redick? Maybe
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
just yeah. Would you give? You wouldn't give SGA over LeBron and Luca though.
I would not. No, not at all. Especially come playoffs.
Okay, how? And then we'll look at some kind of secondary scoring. How would you evaluate Austin Reeves and Jalen Williams? Would you say Jalen Williams might have slightly more talent, but to me, I think they're just as productive in what they're asked to do. With Jay Will being kind of more up and down than Reeves is.
I honestly would argue Reeves has been more proven, to be honest with you. From and maybe because I am a Lakers fan, I'm locked into more Lakers games. Maybe this is coming a little bit of purple and gold shades on up right now, but I would make an argument that Austin Reeves has been more proven of a scorer regular season and postseason than J-Dub. But I mean, y'all let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, to me it's close. I can't argue against that. And then we'll go to the bench. Okay, you could give the OKC Thunder the edge over the bench. But I mean, it's a close. They're very close, John. I don't think the records here reflect just how. I mean, it's a razor's edge of a matchup to me. I guess it's biased, but I would favor us. I would say if the Lakers and Thunder were both healthy, if they were playing each other in the Western Conference Finals, I would favor the Lakers in 6 games.
I like that. Joe, what about you? Has your mindset shifted at all as far as like how you feel about Oklahoma City Thunder after these next 2 games, or are you still feel the same way prior to these games?
I feel unfulfilled at this point. I'm indifferent at this moment.
Okay.
I'm not even thinking about the game anymore, honestly.
Okay.
Or
but
how
I'm
Oklahoma. I have no feeling on what Oklahoma thinks. I have no feeling on what the Lakers are going to take out of this. I have nothing. It was spoiled. It was spoiled completely. I have nothing to really look at after this game other than the NBA product absolutely dismantled itself in every way tonight because you had one dickless piece of shit who decided that he was more important than the game.
Oh, and before I lose my train of thought here, John, Gerald, Joe, the next time JT Orr finds himself as a referee in the city of Los Angeles, Gerald.
Guy better not be walking around.
What are they're not going to do anything in LA?
Where he's staying at his hotel.
Soft started in LA
and leave a shit the size that a bear would leave a la commode for JT Orr. Fuck you, JT Orr.
I think Joe froze on us here. Joe, oh, there you are. You have froze for a sec, Joe. But yeah, Joe was saying soft started here in LA.
Yeah, soft started in LA. They ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna sit there with their surgically velcroed penises in their hands. That's what they do in LA. What are they gonna do? They're gonna do shit.
Crazy.
This cannot be fixed. This
Yeah.
cannot have a random fan going crazy. That's not going to do anything. You know what would change this? Adam Silver getting the head of the referee, whoever the hell that is,
Monty
getting into a
McCutcheon.
meeting tomorrow. Getting into a meeting tomorrow. Go, what the fuck were you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's what stops this. What were you thinking? You just shit on probably the game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That is bad business. Bad business. And for a Laker fan, and for a Luka fan, and for a LeBron fan, and for anybody that's a fan of something in this, everyone lost something. Everyone.
Absolutely.
So that's it. There's nothing else to say.
Same question to you, brother. Do you feel any different about Oklahoma City Thunder after these last two games, or are you still feeling the same way prior to it?
Well, again, I just wanted to get a good readout on how the Lakers would take them and would they take it seriously in both games. We see that they did. We didn't even have Rui in the lineup tonight because he can't play back-to-backs. This was decided, I guess, nearly 2 weeks ago by the staff that they would only sit him, only let him play one game. So I guess it's tomorrow, which concerns me. Who are they going to sit out tomorrow? If they're going to play Rui, which I hope they don't sit out anyone. They need to finish this off because they are so close to just wrapping up third place. Second place is done. It's over with. That's statistically no longer possible. Just get third place. Just finish this up because, again, from what I saw, John, in these past two games, is that OKC does not have an answer for Luka, and OKC it is not a great matchup. As the Lakers are just not a great matchup for OKC. Lakers have matchup issues with other teams, but OKC seems to not be one of them. And OKC, they're not intimidated at all by OKC. We saw that clearly. The Lakers tonight, on a game where OKC was ready to play them, and they did different things. They had different looks. They targeted different people, as we've talked about on this show, and we're still not getting it done. The Lakers were still they tried to put the Lakers away twice in this game and couldn't do it. The Lakers gave up 80 points in the first half, and still OKC could not get it done. It took a referee to totally throw the Lakers off their game, throw Luka out of the game. Lakers lost their composure. JJ, I understand he has limited things he could do once that happens, but he's got to get the composure better for this team. They lost it. They lost all their composure. But again, this was a game that we could have won. And probably if Luka was in there, we should have won. And that would have just made a really, really statement game. If I'm OKC tonight, if I'm their fans, Timothy Santiago, who stops by and just says OKC and this, you know what? I think I'm reassessing my life because, again, the Lakers looked really good against his team, against all these OKC fans. They've got to be concerned that they make sure that the Lakers get in third place in the Western Conference so they can avoid them until the Western Conference Finals. I think that would be a bad matchup for OKC and a great matchup for the Lakers.
Absolutely, man. You heard it here first. So guys, let's talk about what's coming up. Let's talk about what's here on the horizon. And before we get to that, 95 people in here today, man. Appreciate you guys all being here. Make sure you guys please all subscribe to the Lakers Fast Break. Please do subscribe to Lakers Corner. Show love. Appreciate Gerald for putting this on for everybody here. Appreciate Magic Man and Joe for always being here. Great insights on the game.
The Tism himself. The Tism.
That's it. Hey, Gerald, I remember in the beginning, I gave I said the Tism man. So Sean Grice, the Tism man. You love to see it, man. But Sean, I'm gonna go to you, the Tism man. Let's talk about this game we have tomorrow. Back-to-back game. Lakers playing the Dallas Mavericks.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. Highly anticipated game, man. I'm looking forward to it. Gerald said earlier, over 190 for Luka, and we're taking the over. But talk to us.
And he's pissed from being ejected as well.
Come on now, pissed from being ejected and going against the Mavericks. Magic Man, what do you anticipate this game tomorrow to be like?
I expect the Dallas Mavericks fans to do something I never thought they would do in their lives, John, and that's become Los Angeles Lakers fans for 48 minutes because they are going to be booing the living fuck out of Nico Harrison. I mean, I don't think you can palpate the rage that we're going to feel tomorrow. Like you can feel rage, Johnny. You can feel it. When someone's busting out F words as C words, you can see the rage coming. You can feel it. You can feel love, you can feel hate, you can feel anger. The anger is strong in the Mavs, man. I expect Nico to make a brief appearance, gentlemen, and be on his merry way because I don't think he's going to stay for the coronation of FUs and F your mother and F whatever that Nico is going to hear tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a few things he's never heard before in his life tomorrow, John.
Absolutely. Kind of
So
reminds me of first time LeBron went back to Cleveland. To be honest, I don't know if it'll be that bad, but I've heard that game just had hatred in the air. To be honest with you, so kind of reminds me of that. To be real, and
I believe it's 16 before you start getting suspended for a game as far as technicals are
it's
concerned.
16.
Deshaun, I'm right here with you, brother. We're all absolutely pissed off
They're
about
pissed off. They're pissed off. We were talking about that on playback. I would expect Luca to come out tomorrow pissed off.
absolutely, and I hope he does because for like a pissed Luca reminds me of remember
Because
Game 7
in
Luka
in
against
yeah,
Celtics last
in
year?
all honesty, he was kind of laughing at JTR. He wasn't really mad at him, Gerald. He was just laughing at
That
it.
first one was pretty weak as well.
Yeah. So he was kind of laughing about it. Like to his credit, yeah, all of you people out there who say he whines, he cries. Yeah, we talked about that a lot when he was with the Mav, and we have talked about it with him as a Laker. Maybe you just don't want hear it as much as you want to on Lakers Fast Break. Join us on
Luka
YouTube.
Doncic has I don't know if it was today, it includes today or not, but he has 12. So if it's not updated yet on teamrankings.com, he would have 14. So there you go.
Man,
He's gonna have 13.
okay, absolutely.
He's gonna have 13. He's gonna be rescinded tomorrow, guaranteed.
Yeah,
it
probably.
better be rescinded, but
Too little, too late. What that doesn't do a whole lot for anyone. Go ahead.
They rescinded the bad call against Jesse James in 2017 too. What did that do, Dick? And it cost the Steelers a second seed in that playoff run. It cost them a second seed, and they ended up having to play an extra game. So you can go ahead and take you can take your rescinding things and stick it up every bull, rhino, rhinoceros, T-Rex, every animal's ass, and leave it in there.
I don't think it carries into the playoffs. I think they get a new set. Sean, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
They get a new set.
0.
Like 5, but they get like 5. Yeah,
0 to 5.
Yeah. Before you get okay.
So. I am about to hop though really quick to go do my game recap. So appreciate everybody that was here. I did try to do my best job of being like Gerald Glassford, the Podfather. But appreciate you guys.
Great.
Appreciate you guys. If you guys want to come follow me in my channels, I would greatly appreciate that. Please do subscribe to Lakers Corner on YouTube. I do 3-minute game recaps, talk about some game film. Follow my Instagram. It's Lakers_corner. And my TikTok just hit 7K recently. So it's Lakers Corner 24. Please go check that out. And then my Twitter is Lakers Corner 2. But appreciate you guys. Sports Baby.
Put some Minecraft videos on your TikTok. It'll get more views.
Oh, yeah? I need to check that out. And thank you, Sports Baby, for showing love. Yes, guys, please go check me out. But besides that, I will see you boys tomorrow in this Luka Doncic Classic.
There you go.
All right, guys.
But we're still thank you, John. Again, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, but we're still here for you here at the Lakers Fast Break. Joe, here we go again. Back-to-backs. Rui held out. Looked fine to me in that sweatsuit outfit he was wearing, but it is what it is. They planned that ahead of time, like 10 days, according to the tweet that I saw earlier today from Dave McMenamin. I'm worried that they will sit down someone else because Rui's going to play in Dallas. Your thoughts? They don't have time or the need to go ahead and sit out anybody until they lock up that third seed. And even then, you're right, Joe. They shouldn't sit down anyone because they need to work out a lot of the stuff that went wrong for them today.
I'm already irritated and upset. I'm not going to talk about load management now. Otherwise, I'm going to start eating my microphone. I think it's very clear that Luka is going to do some business tomorrow. And it didn't matter whether they won tonight, whether it went triple overtime. This is going to be a completely different game tomorrow. Luka Doncic is going to go for blood tomorrow. And JJ Redick is going to have to probably calm him down too. So I have full confidence that the Lakers will win tomorrow and Luka will have a good game. I don't think he's going to drop 50, but he'll have a good game. And all they got to do is win the next one of two after that. And I don't think they're going to lose to Portland and Houston. I think they'll lose one of them. It's just a matter of which one will they get first.
From the jackass's mouth himself, Gerald.
Here, I'm going to put it up on screen right now. There you go.
From the horse's ass's mouth.
Can you?
Right.
Can you go
sure. So, Pool Reporters question for Tony Brothers: why was Luka Doncic assessed his first technical foul by JTR? Brothers, he directed profanity at a game official. Second question: why was Luka Doncic assessed the second technical foul by Orr? Was it the official's judgment that he was speaking to him or to a fan? He looked directly at an official and used vulgar language.
And then you talked about why was Jared Vanderbilt called for a technical foul?
An answer from Tony Brothers: he's called for a technical foul for stepping towards and verbally taunting a player while the ball was dead.
Weak stuff. Absolutely weak stuff.
I have seen that sewer rat Draymond Green for the last 6 months act like a complete and utter shithead. Not 10 times worse than what Luka's done. And no one kicks that piece of shit out. So what you're saying means nothing to me. I'm not saying this because Luka's my guy and Draymond isn't. Go watch the last game that Draymond was in and go look at that spittle motherfucker yapping the entire time. If you're telling me that guy is saying darn and gosh, then you're a fucking idiot. So don't sit there and tell me, oh, he threw profanity. The guy speaks 8 languages. He can say it in Slovenian, Serbian, Italian, Zimbabwean, whatever the hell that is. So what now? What would you pull out of your ass then? Just admit you made a mistake or you're just an idiot. I think it's the latter. You're just an idiot. And for those of you who think this was rigged, he's too stupid to rig something like this. This was a stupidity moment. This was an ego where there shouldn't be an ego moment. This has nothing to do with a fix, okay? You don't fix a game going, hey, as soon as Luka yells at a fan, kick him out, then we'll win. No one predicts that. Come on, guys. You're smarter than that. Don't be like this guy, okay? Let's open up our eyes and this right here, open this thing. It's very important when you open this. Sometimes you need some drugs to do it. I don't recommend it. But if you're doing music or something like that, I get it. But anyways, point is, open this. Open this. This is just somebody being stupid. And we have a lot of stupid people in this world. You know why? Because there's missing brain cells of...
We live in a society where it's brain turd on fire syndrome. You have a flaming turd on fire for a brain. It's a real syndrome.
JSJ said Jared Vanderbilt after the game to Dave McMenamin says when Luka Doncic picked up his first technical foul, the referee JT Orr said he would talk to anyone but Luka. Now that's not helping matters at all. That's you have to. He's on the court 35, 40 minutes a game. You have to converse with him if he actually legitimately has a beef. But you went and singled him out once, and then you single him out again, and very egregious. And like Joe says, there seems to be like a Draymond tax where he can say and do so much more than the average NBA player to a ref and get away with it. And Legend is such a great part of this channel, but he is a Golden State Warriors fan. But even he would tell you that Draymond gets away with the refs a little bit more than what most players do. And Luka obviously doesn't get that any kind of slide from the refs to saying anything, even if it's not directed towards him. So it's very troubling, to say the least. But he is who he is. When we got him here, we knew he would be complaining to refs. It's not like this is an unknown entity, guys. This is who he is. Now, this is a problem where the refs go overboard and basically decided the game on their own, and they gave it away to OKC right there. But at this point, Luka is going to continue to complain to refs. So's LeBron. It's just how you do it, when you do it, and are you allowed to do it? Do specific refs have a shorter trigger on getting those tests, on getting those tees, giving those tees out to somebody like a Luka or LeBron than other players? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's just terrible tonight. Again, it ruined the game. It ruined the flow. The Lakers became just very discombobulated and lost all composure tonight afterwards. And again, the refs are the issue. This is going to be, like Joe said, could have been one of the best games of this year, and the refs really ruined it. But Joe, I wanted to ask you this: you and I are like all over the place on Jared Vanderbilt tonight. We saw the best and worst of Jared Vanderbilt, the things that get us, really hyped up about, and the things that really get us emotionally upset about Jared Vanderbilt. Tonight, 8 points, 12 rebounds, 2 block shots, minus 17. But your thoughts on Jared Vanderbilt? Again, we saw the best and the worst of both worlds with Jared Vanderbilt tonight, Joe.
I'd say because of the magnitude of the game and the opponent, I thought he might have played his best game of the year. He was able to get passes under the rim and actually convert them. There was a few he didn't convert, but he converted more than I remembered him before.
And handling the ball, those.
And I thought his rebounding was key in this game. That's probably the most important
that's
part.
True.
His rebounding was essential to a lot of these run-stopping, rebounding from the Oklahoma side. If he doesn't rebound it, Oklahoma probably gets the ball and scores. He was anticipating very well. I could see him go from one side of the paint to the other and chasing the ball. It was very Dennis Rodman-esque a few times that I saw him. So yeah, because of the opponent, that matters. If he had
but
done
you mentioned in the first half some issues with him and the way he
his issues are always don't ever give him the ball when you're doing a pick and roll, and don't do a no look pass to him. He barely catches the ball when he knows it's coming, let alone if you do a no look pass. I don't agree with running a set with Vanderbilt. He's too skittish with the ball, and his footwork is absolutely horrendous when he's under the rim and being challenged. But the 2 or 3 under the rim passes that he did get where he scored, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a tree in front of him. And speaking of trees, here's where I think if anyone hasn't really understood how different the NBA is now compared to what it was in the past, this is a question I already know the answer to, but I'll say it. Hartenstein is a bona fide center who's very skilled. And you also have Chet Holmgren, who can be a center, but I think he actually fits pretty good as a power forward because he actually can shoot. So you have 2 absolute dogs at those 2 positions, even though I I still think Chet's still kind of overrated. I think people talk about him like he's like a perennial guy. He might get there, but he's not right now. He might turn into a Cade Cunningham next year, right? Where he advances finally. But right now, I don't see him as being that dominant player that everyone keeps telling me he is. So Hartenstein and Chet are the pillars in the front. But I notice in the last 2 games, bigs are not what they used to be, no matter how skilled they are. The game is too spread out. And the Lakers took advantage of it a lot the last 2 games. A lot. Tonight, Oklahoma City wasn't missing. They were hitting all the shots that they were missing on Sunday. I don't even think they're going to be hitting like this even next time. They were making every shot, and the Lakers were making every shot. If Oklahoma had slightly played a little bit less in terms of the quality, Lakers would have had like a 5-10 point lead, I think, throughout this, because the Lakers were playing just as good as they were on Sunday. It's just their defense wasn't able to stop them this time. So, going back again to the end, 7:40 left. Luka hits a shot. Luka has. I've told you guys. You remember? I used to explain the Shaq scenario. Sometimes 2 points are not 2 points. Sometimes they could be 3 points. Sometimes they could be 4 points, 6 points, because mentally it devastates the opposition. So what happens is, when a play is made by a star that's had a habit of tearing your heart out already, which is no one. There's like a handful of guys I've seen tear people's hearts out in basketball, and you could see it. The reason why it turns into a 6 point dunk is the offense goes, misses a shot, the team comes back, shoots another 2, then all of a sudden they're still devastated from the initial one, and then they get scored on again. They go back, miss another shot, then they get scored on again. That's 6 points in probably a sequence of 60 seconds, all because you just got handled really badly by a particular player and that particular shot, that 2 point shot that devastated you mentally. Well, I felt, maybe not like Shaq at this moment, but I felt that the Luka thing, which Oklahoma has already experienced, when he hit that shot at 7:40 and Luka's talking shit to the fan, I said, uh-oh, Luka is about to close this deal. And then it got snatched. Snatched because maybe this guy didn't get enough attention growing up. Maybe he got made fun of a lot in high school. Maybe he got made fun of and couldn't get the chick in college. That's how this shit starts, folks. That's how this shit starts. You know why that dipshit Zuckerberg started Facebook? Because of a girl who rejected him. That is the male equivalent of I'm going to just say this respectfully, chatty woman.
Social Network is a good movie.
It is a great movie. It's a freaking great movie. They made Zuckerberg look like a stud in that movie. He is nothing like that. You saw him on Capitol Hill, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
But in the movie, he was all quick and fast,
hey, Joe, I don't care how much martial arts he thinks he's done. I'll take him on.
Oh my God.
I'll take him on.
That was like watching Stephen A. Smith box. That was horrid. Folks, if y'all haven't checked, if you already don't know, okay, I've done some TV in my time. I've done some radio, right? I cannot tell you. I'm gonna give you a small little story here, okay? Just so you guys know what I'm talking about. There was a line I thought of one day. This one movie I did 13 years ago. There was a line I asked the director. I said, "Can I say this line at this moment? I think it's gonna be freaking hilarious." So I told the guy that I was dialoguing with in the scene. I said, "I'm gonna say this. You say this, and we'll finish the scene, right?" And I mean, I thought this thing was gonna be a grand slam. We did it. It was funny to me while we were doing it. My buddy Justin thought it was funny when we were doing it. We do it 4 or 5 takes, and then we saw the daily afterwards right away because I told him, I want to hear what it looks like in case we need to change the words back to the script. Dude, it was the dumbest absolute most pathetic line that you could have said when it came to the actual footage. Y'all have to understand what you think is cool, what you think might work. Y'all just do selfies anyways. You might as well do it now. Record it and see how it looks. See how you look when you're being recorded and judge it from that. It's a completely different world. But I digress.
Magic Man, let me get you in here. And once again, the Lakers unfortunately lose 136 to 120. They're still in third place in the Western Conference. JJ Redick had some comments that you put up there. Said it was a great game that unfortunately didn't get to sort of finish out the way that I think every basketball fan would want because of some decision making on some individual parts. That's him trying to conveniently avoid a fine.
And he will.
Down the
He
stretch,
will.
do you think
That's not abuse and official?
Yeah. He's trying to carefully choose his words so he doesn't get a fine. LeBron tonight, you and I talked about it all game long on playback. They were targeting LeBron this game on the defensive end. Plus, they were on the offensive end. They showed him double teams at times. Kind of threw him off his rhythm. Obviously, turnovers accounted for there. Arthur said in the super chat, LBJ is showing his age. He did give us a little bit of, a jump start in the third quarter. So let's give him credit for that. But unfortunately, him, Austin, once Luka went out and got kicked out of the game, I don't think that, again, not only was the team discombobulated, not only the team lost their entire rhythm, Sean, I think JJ as well. I just don't think he had the right answers down the stretch as well. But I think we all know when our best free throw shooter misses 2 straight free throws, that's not a good sign down the stretch.
It is not a good sign down the stretch, Gerald. And unfortunately, they like we said, Gerald. I mean, you and I both were talking on Sunday, and OKC's going to pick its spots here. They've got really great coaching. They've got great talent on the floor. It's only a matter of time. They're going to get through the wall in this game. And boy, did they ever. And I thought they were particularly careful about not only did they make LeBron work, Gerald, they moved him around the floor during that first quarter. They made him go north, south, east, and west. He was unidirectional as a defender, and they tried to work him. And unfortunately, when you're 40 years old, Gerald, I'm 40 years old, when you have to compensate on one side of the floor, you're unfortunately unable to muster up the same kind of energy you could on the other side of the floor to try and balance it out. So OKC was able to find a weakness, and they exploited it, as we know they would. Now, the key is normally you're going to have at least 1 to 2 days off between games. So look, I don't think even going back and forth, travel would be that much of an issue. That being said, you have to find ways to have LeBron sit and not lose your shit on the floor. And unfortunately, with no Luka on there, they just wound up. They were just too wound up, Joel. I thought like you said, I thought JJ was wound up after that. JJ was wound up, and that exerts a lot of energy when they have to create for themselves and for others. I mean, you can ask Reeves and LeBron to do this, but without Luka, it's like watching a Three Stooges skit without Mo. It's not really the Three Stooges. So I think what the lesson to take away here is Arthur has a point that, he at times he does look 40 years old.
Just want to mention to Danny, the winning team, whatever sports league it is, always visits the White House the following season. It is a traditional thing. They get an invitation from the White House, so that's why the Dodgers visited the White House earlier this week. That's why the Super Bowl champions will visit there, later. It's every sports team. Other four major sports leagues will do that over the course of the years. So yes, that's just a normal tradition thing for that, Danny. But yeah, join us tomorrow, Danny, for playback.tv. So that's Lakers Fast Break for the Lakers in Dallas. Arthur says it's the turnovers. Yeah, it's like he's losing his sharpness. Yes, some pretty lame turnovers tonight, Joe. Careless turnovers by not just LeBron, but also as well Luka and Austin as well. But 4 players, Magic Man pointed out to 4 players with excessive amount of turnovers. 18 in total for the Lakers, Joe. Obviously, that's not good for the Lakers. I will say this again, even despite all that, they had a chance to win the game. If they just get some things together and be able to go ahead and maybe go forward and understand that they can compete at that level with anyone. I said that before at the Luka trade, and I'm really more believing that now that they can be competitive any team after seeing what they did against the league's best record.
It's hard to judge these games with the traditional statistics of the past. You're talking about a team that had 18 turnovers, yet took the lead with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left against a team that's got the best record in the league and plays the number 1 defense in the league. And the reason why they did was they hit 18 threes tonight. That is 40 threes made in 2 games against the best defense in the NBA.
They shot 50% as a whole in those 2 games combined.
Maybe they don't lose this game. Maybe they have a 10-point lead going into the 4th, and maybe this doesn't happen with Luka. But you can't look at that anymore. You have to look at where it was. Where it was is they're competing with the best team record-wise in the league, that's got the best defense in the league, that's got a young team, and this was the chance to make a statement for the Lakers to plant something against that team so that should they meet in the future, those guys will be thinking about it. And that was it might not matter still, but it would have mattered for sure, in my view, had the Lakers won this game. As far as LeBron is concerned, I think he's made us so comfortable being available as long as he has. I think it's important to understand that you can't just look at this and go, oh, well, if something doesn't happen, this year, which we have discussed a lot, we're going to be able to just go in the next year and reinforce. And I thought that too. I got lost into that as well. But then the more I think about what's gone on with his groin and things like that, and that's probably playing a big part on why LeBron's gear isn't going as quickly as you want it to. Maybe he's being cautious, and a 75%, 22-year vet LeBron is better than a lot of players, right? So I understand that. But you're still going to ask a guy in his 23rd season to be this 1A with the 1B, or however you want to flip that. The Lakers need reinforcement, more about being cognitive of that. LeBron, I believe after this year, cannot play 35 minutes a game. It cannot happen. He has to play below 30. He has to now play
like 32, 30, like Tim Duncan played.
Tim Duncan played 29 minutes in that last championship season. You've heard me say this, guys. That might have been the greatest coached season that I've ever seen from an NBA coach. That says a lot, at least from the 34 years that I've been watching basketball. I had not seen a coaching like absolute clinic like I saw in 2014. Maybe it's because Phil Jackson, he had some amazing years too. I thought 94 was amazing, even though they didn't win anything. I thought there were a few shots away from beating the Knicks without Jordan. Obviously, 96 was amazing. And I thought 2009, Phil had probably arguably one of his best seasons as well. And even 06, the fact that they were able to take Phoenix to 7, I thought his coaching, Phil Jackson's one of the greatest coaches ever, and that's not an argument. But the point is, LeBron cannot, especially LeBron, because he is a forward player. He's not a guy that's backwards like Tim Duncan was. He moves forward. There's more energy there. There's more torque there. And I don't know what he can shoot himself up with for the next 3 months, 2 months, whenever they end. But a little bit of me says, man, if there's a way, since a lot of these guys are dropping off, Memphis, Denver now with their coaching decisions, if these teams continue to drop off and there's a couple injuries in the playoffs, the Lakers have a chance. And if they can win one this year, then the pressure for next year lessens. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, Joe, I was just going to point out that the 2013-2014 Spurs are the only team in NBA history to win a championship where no starting player played more than 32 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that box score like it was yesterday.
Parker played the most minutes per game for the Spurs in the playoffs, 29.4. Duncan was second, 29.2.
It was, I don't even think masterful is even, the way they played basketball was masterful. They came back losing 20 in 2013. And in my view, that was the last season I saw basketball played the way it was supposed to be played. It was John Wooden in the 70s.
But the point you were making is that the Spurs didn't become less efficient because their best players didn't play 35 minutes a game. They actually became more efficient, Joe.
And that's a testament to Tim Duncan, who's the second greatest team professional. And it could have been Luke Walton. I'm sorry, not Luke. Bill Walton, had he not gotten injured. I don't want to. This isn't hyperbole. Tim Duncan is the second greatest team basketball player next after Magic Johnson. Like, that's his value. His value to the team as an individual to enhance the team. I think he's second.
He's the greatest help defender in NBA history.
He allowed Popovich, whom I am sure of, if he had coached anywhere else, would have been gone after 5-6 seasons, because that's the way the NBA works. NBA players are very selfish and very sensitive. They're more sensitive now, but they were always sensitive before. He would have never lasted unless he had coached. Maybe Dirk Nowitzki could have been another guy, but definitely Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan allowed Popovich to be who he was because Tim Duncan ate shit in front of everyone, and everyone had to eat that same shit or you were gone. And that's as easy as I could put it.
So, guys,
Brady did that too, by the way. Tom Brady was like that too. Not a surprise.
Before we head on out, and once again, the Lakers unfortunately lose tonight, 136-120. Before we go into tomorrow's game and what the Lakers still have to do in order to secure the third seed, I know that the major news of the day, Magic Man, was Michael Malone getting fired. That one was just a little bit of a surprise for us. In a year full of surprises, in a season full of surprises, this was definitely a surprise. And Calvin Booth, the GM, has been told that his contract, he will not. I mean, basically, they're just going to let it expire for him, which is going to be in a couple more weeks if they lose in the first round. So he's gone.
There's still possibility they play in the play-in, so Calvin Booth may be gone before we think.
Yeah, exactly. So your thoughts on this, my friend? Again, as much as we have a personal dislike for Michael Malone and the way he's talked trash about the Lakers, etc., You have to say he deserves a lot of credit for his coaching ability, in not only in Sacramento but in Denver. I don't think it's an accident that he was there when they won a championship. I think he did provide and has provided good coaching. They were 15 games above 500 or 12 games above
I
500.
think it was
And
12.
12 games above 500 Magic. So again, it's not like he was coaching a team that's substandard anyway. They still have a shot at still placing well in the Western Conference. Why do it now with just 4 games left in the season?
Yeah, Gerald. So I don't think the decision itself is at all surprising, but the timing is a little shocking,
Mhm.
considering the fact that you have a team that is letting its head coach go. So you're bumping up David Adelman to the chair, and now he's going to be captain of the ship. You can't run anything schematically or stylistically that's different, because we're so
Mhm.
far into the season, drill, that even if they tried something like that, it would just be an implosion.
Yeah.
Even with a all-time great like Nikola Jokic. So you're essentially the same team on paper and on film, even though Michael Malone is not there. So I'm really not sure what this move indicates, other than the fact that I read it as NBA junkie, that this is Stan Kroenke dealing with the chickens coming home to roost, Gerald, because everybody was in the NBA circles, and all the nut gobblers out there for Nikola Jokic, and you nut gobbling Laker haters wanted just to talk about the Denver Nuggets and their dynasty on the come up. Well, there's less that's not going to happen. So Crunky decided that he was going to let Tim Connolly go out the door, and credit to Gerald Glassford, because he pointed this out more than any other NBA analyst. It said that was kind of the red flag for Denver, thinking, maybe we can get by on the Toyota Corolla over the Nissan Coupe. Well, you can't, because you traded in Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, KCP for Julian Strother, uh, and a bunch of bag of chips, because you haven't replaced any of that talent that's there, Gerald. Um, and you had a Russell Westbrook. So Calvin Booth is left with nothing. No, well, nothing will come of nothing, as King Lear said and I see Joe's just riveted by what we're talking about. Yeah, so Crunky just went on the
No,
cheap
actually,
here, Joe.
I'm very
Crunky,
I like
Crunky
I like
went.
what you just said. I think that makes a lot of sense. That
Oh,
that
thank you, thank
that,
you.
that's actually good information. No joke.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I,
The way you
gee,
described how they essentially teamed their own management instead of going with Neiman Marcus or Louis Vuitton, they ended up buying the cheap bag, thinking, we have Jokic, we have Jamal Murray, we don't really need to pay a executive. He already did the work. He already drafted these guys. That makes a lot of sense. Problem is, he forgot that you still need to manage shit afterwards. It's harder to manage success than it is on the come up. But great point. No, really, good point.
Okay. But that still means, Joe, that Denver is going to have an issue now because they have a new coach, assistant coach, stepping up to the plate with just 4 games left in their season. I don't see a long stay for them, which is a shame, because if you have Nikola Jokic playing like he does, he's not going to be playing like this every single season. I don't know how much longer or how many more seasons you're going to get out of him, Joe, but Does this start planting the seeds for maybe Jokic going somewhere else?
If Jokic is to come to LA,
It's still, we were like, if he's able to come to LA.
I don't know how that could happen. Even if he
Okay.
demanded it, I don't
There's
know
not
how
enough.
that would work.
We don't have any anywhere close to the assets for that.
I think you got your super lottery ball or mega millions, billions when you got Luca. I don't see that happening twice. Jokic has the option of opting out after the 2027 season, which is in 2 seasons. And if Jokic indeed wants to play with Luka, he has the choice to allow himself to be a free agent after the 2027 season. And I would say, playing off of pure assumption here, maybe LeBron plays another year beyond next year if he feels like he can play still. And his money would drop after 2027. And then Jokic would have the opportunity to sign in LA outright. That would be the likely scenario. And I would say, even if LeBron didn't want to retire in 2027, I think the Lakers would extend him to 2027 should he want to play more after the end of this year. And I would take a guess that the Lakers are probably looking at that just as much as we are and saying, even if LeBron wanted to extend beyond 2027, they'd probably go, sorry, LeBron, that was the last thing we gave you. So, short answer, there is a possibility. It would have to likely be the summer of 2027, and Jokic would have to decline his final year, since it's a player option, for 2028 and become a free agent.
And Stan Kroenke would also have to die from ingesting a sugar bowl full of cocaine.
He's a pretty private guy too. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, so it makes sense if he had a snow habit.
Well, he's the one who made the call. I mean, to get rid of both the coach and GM.
I can just see him sitting there like Daniel Plainview, but instead of eating beef jerky, he's just doing the old.
Exactly.
That was one of the more satisfying endings.
Well, that bull. I mean, eating beef jerky and then getting.
He was so tired.
Good.
He was so tired. Absolutely tired of that guy. The whole world who watched that movie was tired of that guy. He was a false prophet. We knew he was a false prophet. He knew he was a false prophet. He finally got him in the end to admit he was, and took a damn marble at that time bowling pin to his. Sorry for busting the movie for you folks.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Joe. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
By the way, all thoughts are with Jalen Wells, the Memphis Grizzlies, who went down hard tonight and was transported to the hospital. Looks like concussion and a broken wrist, so his season is done. Very tragic story on a slam dunk, just like we saw with Connect and all that. So
yeah, and Gerald, I don't want anybody to go on social media and give Mr. Joseph from the Hornets a hard time. He did undercut him, but stuff like that happens in the game of basketball. It was unintentional. I'm sure he was the first one to text Jalen Wells. My bad, man.
So before we head on out, let's go ahead and preview tomorrow's Thank You Nico Bowl at Dallas. And I'm interested as far as the crowd reactions. Will there be signs? Will there be protests? Will it revive the hatred for Nico Harrison? Joe, I want to hear your thoughts first on this before we head on out. Yeah, again, this is going to be very interesting. Luka, as if Luka didn't need enough motivation, he certainly has it after getting ejected today in a game that the Lakers could and should have won.
I'm still in the belief that it wasn't his call. I believe it was the owners. So the Adelsons, in my
Oh
view,
yeah, I know it was the owners. I agree with
I
you
believe
there.
the owners were the ones that pressed the button. That this is not a general manager or a coach decision. We saw we saw Jason Kidd uh, in that with Nico Harrison in that press conference, and anyone who could see saw the thoughts that were boiling in Jason Kidd's brain. You just took his job security away because Jason Kidd will likely be gone probably within the next couple of years, if not maybe next year. As soon as they start next year, 10-21, you'll probably start either hearing something
Well, if
about.
he wins a championship this year, Joe, for some strange, miraculous reason, if Kid wins a championship, he'll be out in 2 years anyways, according to the most recent stats. Most
Yeah,
of these
man,
coaches are gone.
Dwayne Casey won the Coach of the Year and got fired. Like, what was it? 3 days later.
Something like that. Yep.
How do you? NBA
Lou
coaches
got fired shortly after he won. Vogel,
George Karl got fired
Budenholzer.
after he won Coach
Yeah.
of the Year. Yeah.
Nick Nurse got fired, but that was like 4 years later. But yeah, it's just usually 2 years, Joe.
George Karl, I didn't mention because George Karl is a pretentious man. I'm thinking pretentious because we were just talking about There Will Be Blood, and the character that Daniel Plainview took his aggression off in the end of the movie, even his name was pretentious. Eli. Like the word Eli, even the name Eli. Like, I don't like Eli Manning. Not dislike him. I don't hate him. I don't like his aura. It's like this, I don't know. I get a bad vibe from Eli.
Yeah, the book of Eli killed itself with that name.
Yeah. So even the name Eli was like, whoever put that name in the script even had, some people encompass their names more often than not. So George Karl just has that attitude of, I don't know.
No, you're right, Joe. It's pretentious. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room before he even walks in.
Here's the thing. George Karl's actually a very good coach.
No doubt.
He was a very good coach. I didn't dislike his demeanor and attitude during his NBA career because it adds some flair to the boring. Like, Frank Vogel was the most boring coach I think the Lakers might have had.
Ham and cheese sandwich.
It's like, so Frank, did you go jogging last night? Yes, I went jogging, and it was great. Okay, like it's a bologna sandwich with no mayonnaise on it. The thing with George Karl was there was some feelings as the opposition going, okay, George.
There was some sauce. Some sauce.
Right. Plus, his disdain for the Lakers is warranted because he never beat them. Not as the Golden State coach, not as the Seattle coach, which, by the way, he had some sick-ass teams in the 90s. He had no business losing to the secondary Laker team. The Lake Show, we loved them. Sedell Threatt, Terry Teagle, Eldon Campbell, and not so much Eldon Campbell, but Vlade Divac, all those guys. We still love those guys, even though we knew they weren't a title team. And they lost to those guys in Gary Payton and Sean Kemp's primes. And then, of course, fast forward, coaches in Denver, never sees the light of day in Denver either. And he had it in 2009, man. He was this close in 2009. Kobe took it out of his ass. And he gave Kobe props. He didn't front on that one.
He went to Sacramento and was fired there.
That one was Sacramento, except for a 2-year run. And I don't even know if it was really 2 years because they still got their ass whooped by the Lakers in 01. 2000, they were kind of on the come up, so I'm not going to
I
count
would
that.
say 98 to 04 is the relevancy, Joe.
Relevancy, honestly, really was 02 and 03. They should have beat Minnesota in 03. They had no business losing to Minnesota. They should have went to the finals in 03. They should have. Although the Spurs had the best team in 03 with Duncan being at his best. But I don't understand why they lost.
The Kings were a bad matchup for the Spurs if that happened.
That's true, too. That's
but
true,
the Wolves weren't.
Yeah. Anyways.
So tomorrow, it is, of course, the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. We'll have it here for you as far as the scoreboard and chat. Playback.tv / Lakers Fast Break. Tomorrow, return for Anthony Davis in the lineup. I know who'll be motivated. Max Christie.
I'm sorry, I meant Dallas, not Minnesota. Sorry.
I'm assuming he's going to drop his usual 35 and 12. I don't know if that'll be enough, but we'll have to see, my friend. But Magic Man, you okay? Bringing it to you right now.
Yeah.
Did you sneeze?
Good. No, I coughed.
Oh, I thought you sneezed.
Okay.
I was going to say bless you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, but are your thoughts, my friend? Tomorrow, the Luka game. All eyes will be on Luka. The reaction by the crowd. If Nico is anywhere in the building within camera shot, how many times they go ahead and zoom in on him. Your thoughts?
Spectre, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I just he puts out garbage.
Put a couple on there, but every post.
Yeah.
Work with us a little bit.
Anyway,
yeah.
Gerald,
yeah.
The last time I saw, and it's not just me, it's everybody else too, but the last time I saw a enraged, completely unhinged, maniacal mob was when LeBron came back to the Quicken Loans Arena for the first time with the Miami Heat. There were Cleveland fans, and I've told Joe this. There were Cleveland fans who were bringing D batteries. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if you've seen them in the Home Depot but Joe and Gerald know exactly what I'm talking about. The large rectangular batteries that these Cleveland fans brought to the game and were throwing onto the court. I half expect a lot of Dallas Mavericks fans or Dallas sports fans to bring as many blunt objects as they could possibly fit in any orifice of their body that they could retrieve in the men's room to throw at Nico Harrison for what he's done to their sports fandom. I can't imagine what we're going to hear tomorrow, Joe. I'm as much in surprise and anticipating a raucous affair. I really expect that at some point in time they may have to call the game because people just can't stop throwing things onto the court. Hopefully they'll be able to keep it at bay and we'll be able to just watch a basketball game and for people to enjoy it. But for something like this, I could just see the fans getting out of control, especially if Nico actually shows up tomorrow night, which I really don't think he will. I thought he might during the game, but now thinking more and more about it, this is the last game he should be attending.
Yeah, Los Angeles Inspector, I don't make bets. I only make bets in casinos. But even if I did, we would not do it because the last two times somebody bet money with us, a.k.a. Sean and John, both those guys were right and both those guys were stiffed. So we can't believe you guys anymore when you say, I'll bet you. So worthless, man. It's worthless as the words you're writing on it. So unfortunately, you'll have to go and con someone else because you guys never show up. When you guys lose, you conveniently disappear. So yeah, unfortunately that's not going to be the case today. But Joe, your thoughts on tomorrow's game? Again, Luka will be highly motivated and whoever plays alongside of him Again, I hope it's the entire team. I really hope they don't send anyone out. They need to finish this off. The Lakers' magic number to get the number 3 spot is 2. Is 2. Any magic number is 2. Doesn't have to be just 2 wins. Just has to be a win and a loss by whoever's underneath them. Your thoughts on getting the job done and finishing it off and helping Luka in tomorrow's game against Dallas?
I believe that the Lakers will win tomorrow, and Luka will have a very good game. I just don't know if he's going to drop an obscene amount of points. My hope is he has a 40-point, 12 assist, 10 rebound game. They have this in the bag by the fourth, and then let him chill. Houston might not play because again we're in the pansy era of basketball. Houston has likely now wrapped up the second seed. Maybe they don't play as hard a few days later against the Lakers, and then the Lakers can win that game and close this out, and then they can take the Portland game off. But if they don't, let's say Houston wins and they're playing all out, then I have full confidence that the Lakers will beat Portland in Portland because they have to win that game. They have to solidify the 3. Getting the 3 changes everything versus getting the 4. And they might drop the 5 for all we know. I don't know. So you got to win tomorrow, and you got to win one more after that and call it a night.
There you go. Absolutely. Just get it done. Get it done now. And again, the Lakers' magic numbers too. Would have been great if it would have been tonight, Magic Man. But again, the refs had other ideas. So we'll just have to go in tomorrow motivated, a little pissed off. And Luka hopefully will have the game of his life tomorrow right in front of Nico Harrison's and their owner's face as well.
100% Joe. The Adelsons bought the Mavs for one reason alone. They wanted to lobby the Texas legislature to legalize sports gambling in arenas. They want to make as much money as they can while they can. Go ahead, Joe. Looks like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, this country needs to start. Everybody's worried about people going to the White House to get congratulated because apparently someone doesn't like something there.
Well, Danny didn't know about that.
No. I'm not talking about that. This is something I'm going to talk about on my show tonight.
Oh,
It was comments from Dodger fans on Dodger Nation, on a lot of these shows, and a lot of these comments. This has nothing to do with Danny. I think people misinterpreted what Danny said, actually. But anyways, you all are sitting there worried about what you think about your feelings when you're completely missing the boat on what kind of shenanigans are happening in America. Look at how normal they're making gambling. I have my cousins, I have my uncles who ask, Joe, why don't you play? I go, I'm not playing this because this is going to be worse than fentanyl and heroin put together in the future. It's already starting. You have 20-year-olds, and I'm not talking about 20-year-olds. I'm talking about 28, 27, 20 grown-ass fucking men. People who should be buying homes, but they're not because they're bankrupting their parents because of their gambling. And you want a state or a legislator to go, oh, yeah, we're going to allow this because, hey, guys, it's gambling. It's fun. It's not fun. It feeds to the trash in the part of your brain. It feeds it, and you'll continue to feed it because it's no different than any other addiction out there. Any addiction that goes too far will kill you, and this is one of the worst ones. So my hope is that Dallas, Texas, whatever, really, really thinks about this. And some of you all out there that are worried about a jersey being given to the president because you hate him, you think that's bad? You think that's going to topple America? Think again. You got shit out there that's destroying this country, and you don't give a shit. That kind of stuff is what destroys a people. And I want you all to wake up. Some of you need to wake up and stop worrying about yourself and worry about what's going on. I can handicap. I have full confidence that I can handicap with the best of them because I'm about this. I can. It's like anything else. If you do it every day, just like the market, right? If you're about the market and working the S&P, whatever, you will get good at it. Same thing with gambling. It's the same thing. But the problem is you're around trash, no matter how eloquent it is.
Okay,
It's a disease.
I'm getting sick and tired of this guy, BC. Texas is a state. If they want to legalize gambling, that's up to the state of Texas, you moron.
It is.
It's up to the state of Texas. It's not federally mandated. I'm a Canadian and I know that. Why don't you help yourself to a political book? Because you're talking like a fucking idiot.
All right. Calm down, Sean. It's okay. I'll just say this. If you want to gamble on your phone here in Las Vegas, or with apps out there, you can. If you want to go ahead and play the lottery in Nevada, you can. But who could change that? The state of Nevada. Just like every other state, they have their own various laws on gambling. What type of things that they can do as far as gambling, the lottery.
No, you didn't say that, BC, you moron. You said gambling will never be legal in Texas until they federally mandate it. You are wrong, dumbass.
Yeah,
it's up to the state of Texas.
Yeah, you did say that. And that's incorrect. It's actually up to the state of Texas on that. So, BC. Yeah.
The point of the discussion is focus on the things that matter.
Yeah.
I heard a line. I think I might have said this on the show before, but I think it's really important to reiterate it. 85% of the things that are said on TV, social media, 85% is bullshit. And you know what? I've actually tested that theory. I've tested it. Every time I go dig deep into something and go down a rabbit hole, let's say we're talking about what's going on with low-income housing. Let's use that as an example. Low-income housing. This is what's going on with quote-unquote low-income housing. One side says it's helping this. The other side says somebody's funneling the money somewhere. Then you do some research on that, and I talked to some of my people who actually build low-income housing. Oh, also, I have a friend that owns a condo, townhome, that's considered low-income housing. He is low-income. And you end up finding out it's all bullshit. All they're funneling this, and they're not really moving in the guy that really needs it. My guy really needs it. It's a game changer for him. And that motherfucker deserves it too. That guy's worked his ass off since he's been in America since 1999. He deserves it. He's earned it. He's one of the best people, if not the best person I've ever met in my life. So 85%, think about that, guys. 85% of the shit you see on networks and news networks and even like the sports, it's all bullshit.
But Joe, to your credit, so far the people of Texas have decided that they don't want.
Yeah, it's up to the people of Texas. Yeah,
right now. So
yeah.
I mean, the
government,
Magic Man, coming through, as you said.
The government will put in a resolution,
right?
And it's up to people to vote on it, say yay or nay on it.
Right? Yes.
Look, I want you guys to be very clear here, and I'm sure most of you guys are people here, a lot of you, and you all know kind of what part of the world we kind of work in. I told you I have cousins from here to the end of the block who are online gamblers.
Okay? I know gamblers myself.
Just because I hate it doesn't mean I hate them. That's a very important thing to learn too. If you like to put tattoos on, like Sean does, I'm not going to not like Sean because he does it. But to me, tattoos are not going to work for me. They don't work for me. Gambling doesn't work for me.
They might not work with Border Patrol when I try to come to California either, Joe. Be
Right.
Canadian and have tattoos. So we'll see about that.
Well,
one.
the point is, I make it very clear because I play with the act. That's what I tell my kids when I go on my rant. Sometimes they can hear me down the hall, right? And before I got on today, we were laughing and having a good time between when the game was over and when we were eating dinner, right? And I've told them, I said, Daddy goes into that room. It's a switch. I go, when I get out of that room, Daddy's back to joking during dinner. But it's still hard for them. And I'm trying to teach them to understand the duality. A lot of people that are adults don't understand that, let alone a 12 and a 14-year-old, right? But it's true. I can separate what I don't like from what I will support. I'm still going to support. Hey, Sean, that tattoo of Kobe is fucking money. I would never put it on myself, but damn, that looks pretty damn good. Oh, you won $1,000? Hell yeah, baby. You know, I'm not going to sit there and go, you shouldn't gamble. No, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to say that what you do is not good. Too permanent, for one thing. And as far as the other thing with gambling, just don't be a degenerate, because most of you are all going to turn into one.
I have seen it ruin lives here, Joe. In my
no one
25
knows
plus
better,
years here.
right? So, Gerald, you live in the gambling capital of the
I
planet.
do. Yes.
You don't know if anybody's going to know. You know.
I have seen it over the course of my working in casinos and even working outside of casinos and knowing people, friends, family members, not really, but my friends that have really, I've told the story on the show here where we didn't find someone. We went out as a group of guys, worked at a electronic chain store here in Las Vegas. We went out one night to downtown Fremont, a whole bunch of us, about 7 or 8 of us. And one of them just, we left him at the Union Plaza playing blackjack. And 2 days later, his wife called our stores. He hadn't been home. And so we went out to find him, and I found him still at the Union Plaza in the same clothes he was wearing 2 days prior, just gambling straight up. But I've heard the stories. I've known people. I have helped people in this town with issues like that before that have really ruined their lives because of it. So yeah, it can take you like any addiction. It can take your soul. It can consume you in many ways, shapes, and forms. So I advise against it. But I understand it was a miscommunication or what you typed in, BC. But again, it's brought by the government to bring it up, to approve on it as far as a something that could be put on a ballot. It's up for the people to go ahead and decide on it. But right now, they can't even get it through legislature in Texas at this point in time. So I don't see it changing anytime soon. But as Joe will tell you, excuse me, and Joe will even admit to it himself, the money is out there and people just, and I know he hates when we talk about money, but it's just the sheer amount of money that can be driven through gambling. These states just can't resist.
Well, Adam Silver
absolutely cannot resist.
Adam Silver was the initial kind of supporter of gambling in terms of the 4 major commissioners: Goodell, Manfred himself, and Gary Bettman. That he was the one that was championing the gambling because he knew that there was a larger revenue stream there. However, this is not something you want to continue to expand. You're already a hypocrite by suspending players for years for gambling when as soon as we hear a report on ESPN that so-and-so got banned for life for gambling, all of a sudden I see a DraftKings commercial right afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a hypocrite, lying asshole. Well, Joe, that's different. They can manipulate the game. Oh, you think you really think People in your organization can't do that in secret too. You're enabling it. You're getting paid by gambling money. It's a scary area to be. Be careful. Those things connect eventually. And if it's some guy that's on a two-way contract, I'm just saying, some of us aren't stupid. We know the human. My greatest gift is being able to understand human beings. And I'm not even educated in it from a university. I don't need to be. I don't need to go take psychology courses and get my master's and my PhD for it. I know how to spot how people think. I've been here for 47 years. I've learned it. And when you indulge that dopamine on things that are dangerous to have that initial primer of that, you're asking for trouble, and then you're running supposedly a dignified business where you're constantly yapping about how you're giving money to charities and all this shit. I'm going to smell that and know that you're full of shit. Now, it might not matter in the end. We're still supporting the product, right? But understand this. Understand this. This will be a problem in the future, and be ready. There will be massive problems from this, and it could go to the point where we can't do this anymore. We cannot sponsor this anymore because people's lives are going downhill. Or it could be alcohol. And it doesn't matter because it's too big.
And with that, PSA for you. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Of course, tomorrow it is the Thank You Nico Bowl. That's going to be the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Please go ahead and follow along with the scoreboard and chat right there for you at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. In fact, thank you. Great timing. SB put it up right there for you. And then don't forget the best post game that's out there is the Lakers Fast Break. But Joe, when is your next? It's later tonight, or how soon are you going to be doing?
My plan is to get on tonight at 11. Yes, I have some Dodgers stuff I want to talk about. Obviously, I'll talk a little Lakers, and I also want to talk about. I want to be a little bit more in detail on the responses to the Dodgers on their White House visit. I will not be talking politics. I don't do that. I will be talking about some of your people, some of the people out there and their attitudes.
If you don't want to go, don't go. If you do want to go, go. It's just that simple. And you know,
I just find it hilarious that you hear words like "I've lost respect." I can't believe he shook hands. Like, grow the fuck up. You miserable fuckface. That's a little preview of what I'm going to be doing tonight. Seriously, grow the fuck up, okay? This is 2025. The French Revolution is over, okay? The War of 1812 is not going to happen again.
Yeah, we're not glove slapping one another anymore.
Relax, okay? Relax. You keep worrying about shit that didn't happen and won't happen, okay?
Yeah.
You bring down something that was supposed to be a festive event with your selfish fuckface attitude. Seriously, people need to be told that you're stupid and you're a waste of air. Not enough people say that because it's starting to change a little bit. It's not as bad as it was a few years ago, but I think it needs to be a little louder right now because I'm tired of this.
Again, like I said, if you didn't want to go, if they didn't want to go,
did you see us complain? Go. Did you see us complain when Philadelphia didn't go?
Yeah.
Did you see us complain? Oh my God, Gerald. Why aren't they going to the warehouse, to the White House? What the hell is going on with this team? What is wrong with Jalen Hurts? No, we're like, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Instead, you got, hey, I can't believe it. He shook his hand. I'm not going to respect them anymore. You're not going to. Who the fuck are you? You're sitting in your underwear probably. You just probably finished jerking off to whatever you were watching. What the fuck do you? Who gives a fuck about anyone respecting you? Go respect yourself first.
Or have fudge your Oreo cookie.
Seriously, who are you kidding?
Your chest.
I can't believe they went.
Spotify.
I can't believe they went there.
Robert Wheeler.
I can't believe you're still alive.
slid this in there. Sorry for the pun there, Magic Man. But guys, do you now think Denver is worse than last year with the addition of Westbrook, combined with the firing of Malone right before the playoffs? Do you see only one team in the way of Lakers being OKC? That being OKC.
Well, in response to Robert's question, excellent question, Robert. The big difference is that Jamal Murray will not be 100% this year for Denver. No matter if they get past the first round, the further they go along, he's not going to get healthier. Michael Malone used the word worse to describe his injury status at this point. So that's a huge factor. Add in the fact that they've dropped 4 in a row, and add in the fact that they desperately cannot stop a nosebleed right now, Gerald, with or without Jokic. So I would say, in answer to Robert's question, they are a little worse. No Murray. Westbrook is not being. Westbrook had about the same ratio he had for the Lakers, the Wizards, and the Rockets. He'll play a great game, play 2.5 crappy ones, and play an okay half for one game. That's what you get with Russell Westbrook now. And quite frankly, they don't have the perimeter defense that they wish they had. So I would say, yes, they are much worse.
But I think, Joe, to bring it back to you and to close this on out, he says, do you see only one team in the way of the Lakers, and that being OKC?
Yes. Yes,
There you go.
that would be the team that would take them out. They are equipped to do that. However, if the Lakers are healthy, because I am confident that the Lakers will win two more games and close out the 3rd seed, and I feel very comfortable that they will. Should they not have an injury, I see them getting to the Western Conference Finals and having a shot at playing Oklahoma City.
And there you go. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers, unfortunately, get robbed of a chance to go ahead and compete all the way for this game as they lose 136-120. The Lakers are still in 3rd place. Tomorrow, it is the Luka Bowl, the Thank You Nico Bowl, whatever you want to call it. It is hopefully a statement game by Luka Doncic tomorrow. And again, we'll bring it to you on the scoreboard in the chat, playback.tv/Lakers fast break. And of course, right here for the post game at the Lakers fast break as well. Don't forget, later tonight, Joe Sorrell experiment, talking Dodgers, talking White House, talking Lakers. Sports Baby says, how do you think Jokic is feeling now? I don't know. I think he's probably pissed because he and Malone got really.
Jokic is about to win his 4th MVP. You're not going to see too many 30 triple-double averages in a season. Sorry, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Jokic, to me, is the MVP.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Joe, but I don't think he'll win. I just don't think he'll win.
I believe he should win. This is an MVP season, and if they didn't have Jokic, they would be probably an 11th seed right now. So to me, that's pretty valuable. If you're going to give the MVP to the guy that has a 1st seed in every conference, then you might as well just put that in the MVP category. You must play really well and have a 1 seed, because that's bullshit. Jokic is the best player in the NBA right now. And his statistics even add to it. And his value.
I think Sports Baby, I think the Clippers would be a tough matchup because they're 2nd in the league in defense. But plus they have inside Zubac's a big rebounder for them that can cause a little bit of havoc. But you have to get a prime game or prime series from Kawhi, I think, for them. But the fact is the Lakers will be in LA. Joe said the best. The Lakers will be in, if they were to play the Clippers, would be in LA every single game. They don't have to travel. That would be too much rest, in my opinion, for the Clippers to overcome. A rested Lakers team is a very dangerous team indeed. Go ahead, Magic. Final thing before we head on out.
Yeah, Gerald. So just a quick update here. Because of Memphis's win and Minnesota's epic collapse tonight, Memphis pulls into the 6th seed. So as the standings currently stand, the Lakers will play the Grizzlies 3 versus 6 at this point. Golden State is and Denver are still in the 4th and 5th spot. Big games tomorrow night, Gerald, that will help decide a little bit. The Clippers are home hosting the Houston Rockets. The Lakers are on the road in Dallas, and Denver is on the road in Sacramento. That will decide a little what Friday holds.
Yep. And if Denver falls down farther in the standings, I just don't see them giving it to Jokic, no matter what video game numbers he
And
has.
the Clippers own
Yeah.
the Clippers own the tiebreaker against Memphis.
Well, this is important to note. Memphis and Minnesota still play one another, so the loser of that game will likely be at least one of the play-in teams.
There you go.
If the Clippers and Memphis are tied at 6 and 7, Clippers will jump them.
They'll vault them.
Yeah, they'll vault them, and then the Steelers.
You frightened yourself.
Yeah, I know. If the Steelers, see, I still did it. If the Lakers, I'm telling you, if the Lakers face the Clippers, it is going to be a huge advantage for them to get less taxed. Even if they go
rested Lakers is dangerous.
Even if they go 6 against the Clippers, they're not going back and forth across the country and dealing with all the BS.
And again, Joe, I talked about this earlier. Remember that first round, depending on how many days or how many teams are stretch it out, if they're not all sweeps, the Lakers could have sometimes up to 3 days off, especially early on. They may have like 3 days off between games. And if it's at home and that many days off, 2-3 days off, yeah, that makes the Lakers a lot happier, as you guys and I know. So, yep, there you go. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break tomorrow. It is the Luka Bowl. We'll find out what goes on. Will Luka get his revenge? A small measure of revenge tomorrow, or will it be AD and Christie coming right back at the Lakers? We'll find out. I know we'll hear about it. I know we'll see playback. But don't forget Joe Sorrell experiment tonight. And don't forget us tomorrow, right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
It's a good beat. I haven't seen those pictures in a while.